marching today because I think that our neighborhood schools should be equally funded. There's no need for this new charter school, and we're marching to Alderman Burke's office.
My name's Alejandro Nava, and I work for BPNC, and I'm a case manager working at Kelly High School. Noble School expansion is to take resources from our public schools and funnel them in something that's not necessary at the moment. We have multiple high schools, and this new school will be crossing 2 enrollment boundaries. These enrollment boundaries are going to take students away from our public schools, and our public schools are funded on a per capita basis. So the more students they take away from us, the more resources they take away. More resources means less teachers, less programs such as gyms, such as art, such as sports, any sort of recreational activity will be taken away. And these are the type of activities that get the kids to come to school, to get them off the streets. So by doing this, you're doing a disservice to the kids and making them go out in the streets. The more that we cut funding, the more that all of our other schools, things that we've built, long-time establishments, are going to get depleted. So I think as a city, we should unite and fight back for what we already have. Make our resources better.
Well, the school that they're trying to build is on 47th and California, where the RC factory used to be, and I don't think there's any reason for them to build another school. They should build something useful, because then if they build a school, budget cuts, amazing teachers are gonna get cut off, and it's not right. Instead of wasting millions of dollars on building a school, they should spend that money in schools that are already built and make them greater.
Should they invest the money in Kelly?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely they should invest in Kelly.
Not just in Kelly, in all CPS schools.
And CPS schools. Why waste all that money? There's no reason for them to build another school. We have plenty of schools already.
We have amazing schools that with the funds we could use to become even better and stuff.
My name is Andrea Navarrete.
Say no to charter. Yeah!
My name is Lisa Villanueva, and I work for Brighton Park Neighborhood Council. I also live here in the community, and I don't want Noble schools because it takes away the money that we could have for our regular Chicago public schools, such as Kelly High School. No Noble.
Ward Alderman's office, Alderman Burke. Of course, he closed for the day early. He's usually here till 4:30, but it's not 4:30 yet, and he's gone. There's hundreds of students, parents, teachers, community residents, allies who are here protesting the potential for a new charter school, a new Noble charter school that would be devastating to our neighborhood schools. Our high schools are already struggling. And our system is broke on purpose, but they still want to open up a new charter school in the neighborhood, and that would just devastate our neighborhood schools. We have an altar. There's like 12 coffins, really laying out how much money the schools have lost in this neighborhood, and opening up a new Noble charter school would increase the loss of funds at these neighborhood schools and drain the resources, the already scarce resources that we have.
We're going to talk to all of our neighbors.
It's been 4 months of door knocking, canvassing, petitioning, delivering letters, coming to the alderman's office, trying to speak with the alderman, going to Frank Clark's condo, the president of the board. I mean, the list is on and on of the amount of organizing and mobilizing we've done with Brighton Park Neighborhood Council, community folks, and trying to sway the board's decision and to do the right thing to not open up a new charter school.
Save our teachers! Save our teachers! Save our teachers! Save our teachers!
The union has asserted that the board agreed to a moratorium on charter schools, or essentially agreed to stop expanding charter schools. Is that a subject of discussion in this round of contract negotiations?
The board has consistently refused to have charter schools be part of a collective bargaining agreement that is a signed, legally binding labor agreement. In terms of the politics of this, I just think it's stupid and outrageous that the board should be talking about public school closings on this scale. 50 school closings. They're talking about cuts of $500 million. They've already imposed $200 million of cuts. 38 million of that goes to special education. To be doing that kind of damage to the public schools at the same time that they're opening politically connected charter schools. The president of the Board of Ed's name is on the charter school network of the school that they're talking about handing over new schools to. Why are you opening new schools at the same time you can't even fund the schools you already have?
What do we want? Something fast! When do we want it? Now!
Okay, I just said neighborhood schools are the ones that get cut first. I go to Whitney Young, and places like Walter Payton and Jones and Northside, they aren't the first ones to get affected by budget cuts. I used to go to Crowwood Academy, and that is a neighborhood school, and they need the funding. They're the ones that are going to get the teachers cut first and the resources they need. So we need to stand up, use our platform to stand up for all schools, neighborhood schools, selective enrollment, charter schools, everything. We value our education, and we need to stand up for it.
They're cutting 22% of the total teachers in CPS. That's roughly 5,000 in all of CPS. And what that impacts us because we're losing a lot of our important classes, and it really impacts our education. Teachers are losing their jobs, and CPS currently is one of the biggest school districts in the nation, yet it's one of the most underfunded per student.
I think that the state of Illinois isn't valuing the educations of the Chicago Public School students enough. They don't recognize that these are thousands, hundreds of thousands of students that are going to be losing lots of their resources, their teachers, their classes, and mid-year, which would really kind of mess up our entire high school plans and our trajectories. And we feel that devoting one day to protesting this is definitely not as impactful as losing all these classes and missing all these classes for the rest of the year and for years to come.
My name is Jamelia Young. I'm currently studying AP World History. It's a class that is in danger of being cut. If a city official was here, I would tell them that I think that there's a big problem with not only school budgets, but also like the school system in Chicago in general. For Chicago to be one of the biggest cities in the U.S. and for us to have one of the biggest public school districts in the U.S., I think that a lot of problems come with that, but I think that there's been a lot of mismanagement, of funds, a lot of politics, and I think that at the end of the day, these officials should know that when they play politics with these funds or with anything else that has to do with my education, they're playing with my future. They're playing with the futures of other kids, other children who don't have the sort of privilege that I do in going to Walter Payton, and I am really disappointed. I don't expect better, but I should expect better, and they should be doing better.
My name is Emilio Aruro. I'm studying for my world literature class. I'm reading Siddhartha right now.
What do you think about the budget cuts?
Yeah, definitely the budget cuts are just hugely detrimental. After all the budget cuts that happened at the beginning of this year, it's only going to be more and more problematic. We're losing 5,000 teachers, which amounts to like 1 out of every 5 teachers at my high school are going to be cut, and at every high school, which is going to affect just so many students across the city.
So basically, like, a lot of it is just what Emilio said, but also what we're asking is for CPS to stand in solidarity with us, so to like send a message to Springfield about the budget cuts, and ultimately, like, teaching is one of the most important jobs in the city and in the country, pretty much, and we really think we should like allocate more effort into that. Thank you.
When public schools are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
The thing about charter schools is that they're organized so that they don't have to work within the CPS teachers union, and they also like don't have to obey certain things that like all CPS schools have to, and they also have programs for mentally and physically challenged students, which ultimately, in my opinion, contributes to the gentrification of the entire school system.
Hi, my name is Alejandro Sanchez, and I currently work at Brighton Park On Monday, we actually organized a march. We had close to 1,000 students and parents. The march was against the Noble Charter proposal on 47th in California. And I believe that the board should vote no on the Noble proposal. I believe that we have more than enough qualified schools in our community. The last thing we need is more schools. What we need is more funding for the existing schools. We believe that no school should be ignored and cast aside. And that's what's going on now. That's what the case is today. We believe it's unfair. We believe it's undemocratic. And that's why we're here. We're fighting for community schools, existing schools, and public schools.